Good evening, Internet. Welcome back to another night of Strange and Scary Games. I'm Mom. That's all that's over my shoulder. Tonight we're going to be playing through A Mortician's Tale. I was watching an Izzy's video, and they were talking to one of the devs behind A Mortician's Tale, and I was like, I think I had that game in like a bundle in like 2020, and I looked back in my library and I found it, and I was like, I should check that out. So if you have recently watched that Izzy's video and you were interested in checking it out, this was for you. Yeah, I'm going to throw it over to Past Andrew. Thank you as always for joining me. Let's get into it. Flashbang. Start new game. September 14th, 10:15 a.m. You've got mail. Welcome, Charlie. Nice to meet you. My name's Matthew, and I'm mainly going to be the man who delivers the bodies to you and helps with some of the more heavy lifting. Ever hear that joke about a hearse driver? I'll tell it to you when I come by in a bit. Looking forward to working together. I think you'll enjoy working here. Amy is a sweetheart, but she runs tight ship. Nothing you can't handle, I'm sure. She wouldn't have hired you otherwise. Cheers and good luck. Matthew J., Funeral Director, Rose and Daughters Funeral Home. Amy Rose, to Rose and Daughter staff. Hello, everyone. I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce our new funeral director, Charlotte, or Charlie, as she told me she likes to be referred to. Charlie is a recent graduate who came highly recommended and is eager to begin her career here with us at Rose and Daughters Funeral Home. Please take the time to make Charlie feel at home within our little family. We'll have a nice catered lunch this afternoon so we can all get to know each other a little better as well. Sincerely, Amy Rose. So this was Amy, this was Matthew. Funerals Monthly. Thanks for subscribing. Each month we bring you a new newsletter featuring a topic pertaining to the death industry. This month is all about good etiquette for attending a funeral. I really can't believe we have to write this one out, but since we said we'll answer your most popular questions, here we are. Because this is definitely one of the most popular questions. Funerals are a hard time, and we understand that, but here are some quick and easy rules to remember for being respectful at work. Generally, following the guidelines of don't be a jerk should work. Don't be on your cell phone. We understand you're busy, but this is a time and place to disengage. If you have to be on your cell phone, don't do so inside the funeral home. Don't be loud and obnoxious. You can share happy stories, but other people are also grieving and working through their own healing process. Being quiet gives other people space they might need. Don't get drunk. Everyone can deal with their feelings in their own ways. Just remember to be respectful when with the grieving family and friends. Happily reminisce. Sometimes remembering happy moments and positive experiences with the deceased can be a productive part of the healing process. Give condolences. It's not easy knowing what to say to someone, but even a simple "I'm thinking of you" can go a long way. Dress appropriately. What this looks like will change based on the customs of the deceased and their culture, but always dress in a way that shows respect to the deceased and their grieving family. Give a gift or sign the registration book. This can be flowers or a nice card, but it's the thought that counts here. Sometimes this can even just be cooking dinner for the grieving family. Anything that shows you care and want to help them through the healing process is what matters here. Be kind and helpful. Can I drink the coffee? I can't drink the coffee. Today's tasks, Amy Rose. Hello, Charlie. Hope you settled in okay so far. Matthew should have dropped off your first body for you to work on. He said you were really friendly, and he's glad to have someone young and lively to work with. You'll get used to his sense of humor. Your first body is Mrs. Garcia, an elderly woman who died suddenly of a heart attack. The family has asked for a closed casket funeral, so no embalming or body preparation is necessary. The family seems a little bit more united than previous families we've dealt with. Strange how grief affects people differently. Perhaps having more time to say goodbye makes things a bit easier, if that's possible. That being said, although you will not be embalming Mrs. Garcia, I do think it's important to take the time to clean her body. No one is going to see her body, but I like to encourage my funeral directors to do this out of respect for the deceased and their loved ones. You'll find Mrs. Garcia in the prep room. Talk soon. Dear Mia. What? Dear Amy, we're happy to be with Rose and Daughters for my mother's funeral. We understand that there are usually procedures that must be followed in these situations, but if you could kindly not embalm my mother, that would be greatly appreciated. And we will proceed with a closed casket for the service. I just know she wouldn't have wanted her death to have any negative impact on the environment. Since she fought so hard to beat her heart disease and to live healthily, it would be a shame to have her final moments to be counter to the way she lived. Thank you for anything you can do to help us in this matter. Dear Mia, of course, we will happily oblige your request for no embalming and for a closed casket. I'll ensure our funeral director receives your request. From Jin Love to Charlie. Good luck, you beautiful and smart babe, you. I guess my subject lines to you should start being more professional now that we are business professionals. I can't wait to get your reply so I can see your fancy new email signature. I love that you were able to land this gig straight out after graduating. It sounds super cool. I didn't even know mom and pop funeral homes were a thing until now. Guess it's just not something I really think about that much. I should look more into this, learn more about your world and industry, because as I said, you are now a very serious professional. Speaking of being a professional, my museum gig is amazing. I can't believe somebody paid me to move to London, and not London, Ontario, serial killer capital of Canada, to work in a museum. Like, take that, everyone who said I couldn't get a job with an art history degree. I'll tell you more about it when we Skype. My stories require you to see my face and that you hear my excellent British accent impersonation. Also, I signed you up for a Funerals monthly newsletter. Consider it your graduation gift. I love you. I'm super proud of you. Gift. Love you, love you, love you. Jen L. Hart, Museum Curator, London Pathology Museum. Hello, Charlie. Well, you're here now, so it's probably best I explain where everything is. In your office preparation room, you will find the cremation station, cremulator station, embalming station, and obviously, since you're reading this email, your desk and computer area. I know you have experience working with these stations, but please let me know if you have any questions. Let's go ahead and send that. All right, we got a body. This is the prep room where you'll prepare bodies for burials and viewings. Because the family has requested a closed casket ceremony and no embalming, you are just going to clean the body. Click on the sponge and drag it over the body to clean it. That's it. You're done. Mrs. Garcia will be sent to Mike, who will take care of the dressing and putting her in the casket. It's time to go to Mrs. Garcia's funeral. You are responsible for taking care of the deceased body, but it is also important to pay respect to their loved ones. Follow the arrow to head to the funeral parlor. Why do I have to go to the funeral? She would have hated these paintings. She was so particular. Yeah, at least she doesn't have to see them, I guess. Yeah, I guess. We usually don't small talk a lot at these things. At least that's what I was always taught. I hate wearing pantyhose. My legs are so itchy, but it's always so cold in these funeral homes. I think I might actually miss those sweaters she used to knit for me now. Mommy, I'm hungry. When can we go? Yeah, I heard the family specifically said no embalming. I thought it was mandatory, like required by law? I guess not. Embalming weirds me out. Did those chemicals leach into the ground? Seems strange to be putting a chemical that is known to cause cancer and putting it into the ground like that. Or into the sewer. That's what they must do with the leftover formaldehyde, right? Just pour it down the drain? At least embalming guarantees you won't be buried alive. Stop it. Don't make me laugh right now. October 11th. Cleaning the thing. Yeah, I hear you. What to wear when you're attending a funeral from a different culture. We all know everyone wants to be respectful at funerals. Don't talk too loudly, be kind, smile, and refrain from making inappropriate jokes, at least around the grieving family. Hey, sometimes some people do need a little bit of a pick-me-up during such hard times. Who are we to judge? And a big part of that is knowing what to wear. Roman Catholic funerals tend to lean more to the formal, black attire rule, and it works for us. Did you know this goes back to the days of the Roman Empire, where people would wear black as a symbol for mourning? Black isn't universally the symbol for mourning, though. And if you're attending a funeral that is from a culture that is not your own, it's important to understand this. Some colors have different meanings, and despite your best intentions, the wrong choice could mean accidental offense. For example, in Hinduism and in Chinese cultures, white is a typical color for funerals. For Islam, though, it is less about the color you are wearing and more about how modestly you are dressed. Refrain from wearing any elaborate jewelry and be respectful of your behavior. For Sikh funerals, color of the clothing isn't as important, as is dressing modestly and being able to appropriately sit cross-legged. Actually, being respectful is just the number one rule for any funeral, no matter what, really. Remember that, and please don't hesitate to ask what it is and isn't appropriate to wear. If you are attending to support a friend, family member, or partner, this day is not about you, so be sure to do whatever you can to be as respectful and supportive as possible, even if that means not wearing what you're used to wearing at a funeral, or even if it just means asking how you can appropriately show your respects. A story about death from Matthew. Hey there, Charlie. I was driving around the other day, taking our clients on their last trip around town, and I was thinking, strange, I know. Did I ever tell you the first time I went to a funeral? I was a teenager, about to start university, and a friend of mine was killed in a car accident, totally out of the blue. Really tragic stuff. Messed me and my friends up real good. But so the big day. We all got into our best suits and dresses, packed ourselves into a few cars. There were a lot of us, so we had at least 3 different cars full of us, like clown cars, While we're in the procession going to the cemetery, somebody in our car got a phone call from a friend in a different car. Turns out some asshat driver, who doesn't know to not get in the way of a procession, drove through the intersection and smashed straight into our friend's car. Nobody was hurt, thank God, but can you imagine getting that call? Anyway, one of my friends in the same car as me, the one who got the phone call, hung up and started laughing, just laughing her ass off in a way that makes you not sure if they're really just crying or if they've gone fully off the deep end. And she laughed, and then we all started giggling because, go figure, life is messed up sometimes, There's no moral, no point to the story, I guess. I just remember that story and wanted to tell you, because we work with death all the time, and I still sometimes get caught off guard by what that actually means. Oh, before you get any ideas, this has nothing to do with why I became a funeral director. That decision came totally later, and is nothing unremarkable. Somebody has to do it, and I have a strong... The decision came totally later, and is nothing remarkable. Somebody has to do it, and I have a strong stomach, so why not? I'll see you in a bit, Charlie. Hi, Amy. Please pass along our deepest thanks to you and your staff for your wonderful job they did with our mother's funeral. It was really lovely. Our family so rarely gets together. It was nice seeing everyone come out for such a beautiful service. My son never gets to see his family. Also, it was incredibly kind of you to let us bring our own food in. Getting to share some home-cooked meals, sharing stories, being there together, it meant a lot. So what I'm saying is, it was nice for everyone to be there like that, together in that way, and I know how much of that was due to the work of your staff, especially your funeral director. Thank you for making this difficult time easier for all of us. Best, Mia. Amy, just passing this message along. Thanks for your hard work, Charlie. Jennifer Valentine. I am so frustrated right now. Okay, so let me explain this in a bit more detail. A colleague and I were discussing the tight lacer's liver specimen we have here at the museum. It's from a woman who died in 1907, and the liver is tapered inward from what the doctor leading the autopsy believed was too tight lacing on our corset. It's fascinating because it's kind of a controversial topic. Tight lacing was super popular, and while people associated with fainting and hysteria, it's actually been associated with visceroptosis? Visceroptosis. No, visceroptosis seems right. Which is when the organs fail to lower part of the abdomen, right? Which is super unsettling, but can also be caused by being pregnant, so... Too long didn't read. Of course, it's probably messed up some bones, but likely didn't do this kind of internal organ damage. And I'm tired of condescension about my wardrobe that also implies I don't know what I'm doing. These are the kind of things I specifically research, and yet I'm treated like I know nothing. I'm having a day, Charlie. Can I rant for just a second? I'm so tired of hearing strangers, colleagues, anybody, cough, male colleagues, cough, get on my case for wearing corsets. I wear them under my blazer and over a nice blouse, so it's not like I'm dressing inappropriately, even though dress codes are such sexist BS anyways. And like, I hate how your misogyny gets veiled in faux concern. Jen, I'm just worried about damaging your body. You know what corsets do to livers, right? Corsets don't do anything to livers. They're definitely not hurting me as much as your condescension is hurting my head. Sorry. I'm out of sorts right now. I'll send you another email in a little bit when I've cooled off a bit. Hi, Charlie. Here are the instructions for your next body. You did a remarkable job on the first one. The family was very happy with you. No small feat, of course. Pleasing a grieving family isn't exactly the most comfortable of jobs. Your next job is a man named Mr. Duval. An elderly man died of old age. Nothing fancy. Just a standard funeral with embalming. You can reach out to his daughter, Lizzie Duval, if you have any questions. She's handling her father's passing as well as can be expected. As always, don't hesitate to ask me any questions. Best, Amy Rose. P.S. Charlie, dear, please remember to wear proper embalming gear. Formaldehyde is extremely dangerous. I know I don't need to tell you, but my maternal instincts are hard to ignore. I promise I won't mother you too much. Well, just a little. Ask Matthew, he knows. Traditional burials typically require embalming, which preserves the body and prevents it from decomposing as quickly. Unless the family requests otherwise, all traditional burials will use embalming. Let's start by cleaning the body. Click on the razor and drag it over the body to shave it. In order to break rigor mortis, you'll have to massage the body. Click and drag over the body to massage it. The eyeballs deflate once the body starts decomposing. Click and drag an eye cap into each eye socket to give it shape. To keep the eyes shut, you'll need to glue them. Click and drag the glue onto each eye to shut it. The mouth sags and hollows once the body starts decomposing. Click and drag the cotton ball into the mouth to give it shape. To keep the mouth from opening, you'll need to suture it shut. Click the needle and thread. Click and drag the lotion over the body to moisturize it. This prevents the skin from drying out. Embalming involves removing blood and replacing it with preserving chemicals. Click and drag the scalpel. You're going to need a tube for draining the blood. Click on the tube and drag it into the incision. Which one's the tube? This one. Click on the cannula and drag it into the carotid artery. Now you'll need to connect the embalming machine to the cannula. Where am I dragging it from? Oh. Click the button on the embalming machine to turn it back on. In order to evenly distribute the chemicals, you'll have to massage them through the body. I didn't have to do all of this in the mortuary assistant. Great, now let's sew up that incision. Almost done. You'll need to drain the organs of any remaining fluids. Click on the trocar, then click and hold on the abdomen until all the liquid has been drained. Gross. So you have to click on it a little bit longer than you think you should. And you're done. Mike will take care of Mr. Duvall's makeup as well as dressing and putting him in his casket. It's time to attend the funeral. Why am I attending the funeral? I don't understand that. Came out of nowhere. I mean, it always sort of does, doesn't it? Yeah, 1 minute you're laughing, having fun, and the next poof, the person is just gone. Just like gone. Yeah, it's weird to think about for too long, like staring at the sun. I start to feel all fuzzy when I think about it. So weird. How our bodies just stop working like that. Yeah. So strange not seeing most people wearing white. White? Yeah, I think it's different for different family members. Can't remember. I haven't gone to many traditional funerals, so mostly white, but like definitely not red, no matter what. He always wanted to take his grandkids to the park, play catch. He loved playing catch. He threw a mean curveball, that's for sure. Nothing else. December 2nd. So it's been a couple months. I'm worried for our friend. LGBTQ funerals, respect. If you've been a longtime subscriber to our emails or follow us on social media, you've no doubt heard about the misgendering that transgender people are, at times, subject to during their funerals. There have been notable situations where trans women have had their wishes overruled by their families and have had their hair cut, are buried under the wrong names, and subjected to the wrong pronouns in their obituary announcements. Don't do that. We care a lot about this because we believe in treating every person with the same level of compassion, respect, and care. And this absolutely extends to pronouns and respecting the deceased's wishes as per their lived experiences. The CDC's Funeral Director's Handbook on Death Registration and Fetal Death Reporting offers a fraught directive, either male or female based on observation. Do not abbreviate or use other symbols. If sex cannot be determined after verification with medical records, inspection of the body, or other sources, enter unknown. Do not leave this item blank. Leaving it up to observation, obviously, enters into a world of issues since bodies can be so different, and because of ingrained bias, people can draw incorrect assumptions based on their own inaccurate observations. California has passed what is known as the Respect After Death Act, which states that the death certificate must reflect the deceased's gender identity as they lived it. So, a step in the right direction. People who are trans deserve the same respect in death that people who are cisgender receive. Misgendering in death takes away this respect, can also inflict hurt and trauma on spouses and friends that survive the deceased. So what can we do as funeral directors? Listen to the people who come into your office. In America especially, some marriages may not be recognized as legal depending on the laws around same-sex marriage. But this doesn't mean you're not dealing with two people who love each other in the same way as any other couple. Listen, learn, and always be respectful. While you have to work with the next of kin, your duty is also to ensure the deceased receives the utmost respect in their burial. If a funeral is to honor the deceased, then do that. Honor them. From Amy to Matthew. Hey Matthew, this is embarrassing, but it seems I miscalculated some of our income and don't have enough to pay you this week. Would it be terribly inconvenient if I cut you a check for next week instead? If you need the money urgently, please let me know. I feel terrible about this whole thing and I can cut you a check from my personal account if need be. I'm so sorry about this. I assure you it won't happen again. Matthew. I don't like the look of this, not one bit. I know you've only been with us for a few months, but maybe you're aware of the trouble Amy has been having. A small mom and pop shop like Rose and Daughters can't compete with the bigger guys. Anyway, don't tell Amy I sent this to you. Also, I'm starving, so I'm going to grab some fast food before taking the hearse through the car wash. 2 birds, 1 stone, and swinging back to the home. Do you want anything? A beef and cheddar? I'm going to take the hearse through the drive-thru, of course. It freaks people out. I love it. They get so awkward. Let me know. I'm heading out in 15 minutes. Meet cutes for death positive cuties from Jen Love. Charlie, I was doing some reading. I know, you hate it when I try to give you dating advice, but hear me out. There's this dating site that's specifically for people working in the death industry. Okay, so maybe I'm a little worried for you. You haven't mentioned anybody new since the breakup of 2014 that we will never speak of again after this moment. But you're always saying how tired you get of people being scared to ask about your day, so maybe meeting somebody in the industry isn't the worst idea. Just promise me you'll consider it, okay? It's harder for me to make sure you're seeing sunlight when I'm all the way across the ocean. I know you look like a babe with pale skin and witchy gothy aesthetics are super hot right now, but vitamin D is still a good thing. Mom rant over. I'm gonna try it out because turns out people get super scared of... I'm going to try it out because turns out people get super scared off when you tell them you work in a museum filled with dead bodies. Do you know how not interesting other people find teratomas? Charlie, I didn't know we were this weird to outside people. I've been spoiled by having a best friend who is as much of a weirdo as I am. Miss you. Let's grab a bottle of wine for our next Skype date. If you sign up for Dead Meat, isn't that the best name for the death industry dating website? Tender rules apply. You have to like me. You have to like me if you come across my profile or whatever. I'm not sure how it works just yet, though. Jen L. Hart. From Lizzie Duvall. Hi, Amy. Thank you for a wonderful evening you and your staff put together for my father's funeral. He wasn't always an easy man to get along with, but I'm glad to have seen him off in such a kind way. Thank you, Lizzie. Amy, passing on this lovely thank you note. From Amy to Charlie. Hello, Charlie. Today's funeral is for a woman who died from breast cancer. Nothing fancy, just a standard cremation. Please don't hesitate to ask me if you have any questions. Before we cremate Mrs. Hall, we'll need to prepare her body. Mrs. Hall's family brought clothing and jewelry for her to wear. It's important to remove these before the cremation process so as to not damage them. Let's start by removing Mrs. Hall's necklace. Click and drag the necklace and place it on the purple tray. You need to be able to identify Mrs. Hall's remains after she's cremated. Click and drag the round identification tag and place it on the coffin. Great, Mrs. Hall is all set to be cremated now. This is the cremulator. Contrary to popular belief, cremation doesn't turn bodies into ash so much as bone fragments. Using the cremulator will break these bone fragments down into ash-like remains. Let's start by placing the urn in the cremulator. Click and drag the bone fragments and drop them into the top of the cremulator. Now that all the bones have been processed, click and drag the urn back to the counter. Make sure to put Mrs. Hall's necklace back into the urn. Don't forget the tag. Click on the round identification tag and drag it to the urn. Last step, click on the urn's lid and drag it on the top of the urn. All done. Amy will take the urn to the funeral parlor and present it alongside some flowers. This is nice in a weird way. She'd like that we're all here together, talking. She always tried to keep the family together. The food is delicious. I know that's weird, but these crab cakes are perfect. Glad she was cremated and not in like an open casket or something. Seeing her like that, I don't know if I could have. At least we all got to say goodbye. She would have liked that. She would have hated this music. She never wanted her funeral to be sad. She would have wanted us smiling. She said so. She fought really hard. She was proud of herself. She never gave up, not once. February 14th. Been here a while now. Yeah. Keep on protecting Earth with green burials. You've lived your life mindful of the environment, doing your part to reduce pollution and generally help out where you can. So why not continue doing that even in death? At least that's the thinking for a lot of people who are turning to green or natural burials. Natural cemeteries are becoming more popular and are focused on a few rules. Mainly, it's that bodies aren't allowed to be embalmed with chemicals that can damage the environment, and bodies must be buried in a biodegradable shroud or casket. Not only is this better for the environment, it's also cheaper. At Union Cemetery in Ontario, Canada, a natural burial is just over $1,000. So better for the people, the environment, just maybe not so good for big business. Let's not forget, people, this is still a business after all. But really, why go green? Green burials help preserve natural resources, work to reduce carbon emissions, protect the health of those preparing bodies, and restore or preserve natural habitats. Embalming fluids tend to contain formaldehyde, and funeral directors report a higher incidence of leukemia. Going green and not using toxic chemicals for embalming helps protect funeral directors while at the same time lessening the impact we have on the environment after we're gone. We here at Funerals Monthly think green burials are pretty cool. What do you think? Reply and let us know. Jen Love. Charlie, I've been playing a new game when things are slow at work. It's called Tales from the Crypt Sweeper. Get it? Do you get it? It's like Minesweeper, but way harder. Like seriously, it's really, really difficult. And I thought my Minesweeper game was on point after working that overnight front desk job at the hotel for 3 years, but I must have gotten rusty. Anyway, instead of mines, you want to avoid graves, so you don't disturb the adorable ghosts. The main character also kind of looks like you. Want to start a healthy competition? High score gets to pick the restaurant we go to when one of us is in town next. From Ryan Garcia to Amy Rose. Hi, Amy. I know this email might be a bit odd, but you said if I was ever having troubles, I should reach out, and you would know somebody I could talk to about all of this. I just don't know what to do now. I know that my grandmother had lived a full, good life and was very happy, and that she's not in any pain now, but I feel empty, Amy. I've never felt this empty before. What am I supposed to do now? I thought I was stronger than this. Can you refer me to someone to talk to? I don't want to freak out my mom right now. She's dealing with enough with work, the will, and trying to just be the best mom she can. I just need somebody to tell me that it'll be okay. Thank you. And I'm sorry for being an inconvenience. From Amy to Charlie. I thought I would forward this to you. In situations like this, we typically connect people like Ryan with a grief counselor or other professionals who can really help him. Sometimes we get emails like this when people don't know where else to turn. It's difficult, and the family isn't always the most reliable for some people. Usually I would be happy to connect him, but I feel like I'm feeling a little tired today, not my usual self. And it would be good for you to start building these kinds of relationships on your own. You're a treasure, Charlie. From Margarita. Hi, Amy. I'm so eternally grateful that you were able to accommodate our request for my sister's funeral. It was a beautiful service, and she would have been happy with it. That's such a weird thing to say, isn't it? Thank you again from the bottom of my heart. Sincerely, Margarita. Charlie, I thought you'd like to see this thank you note. News about the future of Rose and Daughter's funeral home. Hi all, it is with heavy heart that I write to let you all know that Rose and Daughters will no longer be in business. I had no idea how to start this email, and resources I Googled told me that would be the best and easiest way to break the ice. Be direct but remorseful, Google said. The truth is, I don't really know what to say. Since my father passed away, I've done my best to make Rose and Daughters warm and friendly to anyone who chose to use our services. It was my memorial to him, the original Rose, in a lot of ways. And you've all become like family, including you, Charlie, our most recent addition. But it's been getting harder to make ends meet. Rent is going up in the neighborhood, and I'm finding less and less like I have the energy for this business. There's a lot of competition from other funeral homes, larger corporations than we are that can take on more business and offer more impressive services. You know the way it goes. So we've been bought or sold. Either way, soon, Hillside Heritage Enterprises, Inc., a company that owns many funeral homes in the city and across the country, will replace Rose and Daughters starting with from the beginning of next month. Same building, same name. They're keeping the name Rose and Daughters Funeral Home for tax purposes, though honestly, I'm trying hard not to just see it as a move on their part to keep up the image that it's a family-run business. I don't know how to feel about that, but I also don't know if there's anything I can do at this point either. I've signed the papers. At least my father's legacy is still intact somewhat. They have a good reputation and have agreed to keep you all on. That was one of my stipulations. I would sell as long as you all weren't without a job. Sorry I didn't tell you in a more personal way. I would have loved to have a company lunch, but I didn't have the heart to tell you in person. This was easier for me. Please understand. Sincerely, Amy Rose. From Mariana Reyes to Amy. You asked me if there were any special instructions we wanted to pass along. Just please cremate my father. He has a pacemaker too. The doctor told me that would need to be removed. Thanks. Hi Charlie. Please see the note below about the pacemaker. They can be tricky. Sounds good. I'll take care of it. Mr. Reyes came directly from a hospital, so we don't have to worry about removing any valuables from him, as the family did not provide any for us to include. However, Mr. Reyes has a pacemaker that we'll need to remove before cremation. Because pacemakers are batteries, they will explode inside the hot heat of the cremation machine. We definitely don't want that. Let's start by removing Mr. Reyes' pacemaker. Click and drag the scalpel. You can see the pacemaker. Click on the forceps to click and drag the pacemaker out of the heart. Place the round identification tag in the coffin. Using the cremulator will break these bone fragments down into ash-like remains. We've already done this. Come on. I wonder if he ever liked me. He was nice to me, but I don't know. He never seemed like he really cared if I was there or not. Did you ever end up clearing the air with your father? No. We talked a few times, but no, not really. He sounded like a difficult man. He was stubborn. That's just it. Stubborn. What do you want to do after this? It's pretty nice out. Let's change and go find a patio somewhere. Sounds good. Could really use a beer right now. Hey, did I ever tell you the time we tailgated? I always told him to quit smoking, but of course he never listened to me, so that figures. February 28th. New boss. Yeah, I know. Things to avoid saying at a funeral. Welcome back. Now, we rarely do listicles here, but for this month's newsletter, we thought a listicle would be the best way to deliver this month's advice. What not to say at a funeral. We know figuring out the right thing to say to a grieving friend can be extremely difficult, and since that's such a personal issue, it's hard to give specific advice. Some things will be more comforting to other people, but fortunately, we can deliver a little bit more solid advice on what not to say to someone who is grieving. So here it is. Funeral Monthly's top 5 things to not say at a funeral. Number 1. At least they're no longer suffering. Even if this is true, nobody wants to hear this. It's probably not your place to dictate. Who wants to be told that the death of someone they love is for the best? Like I said, even if it's true, don't be that jerk and just don't say it. Number 2. Were they saved? No religious statements. Just don't. Why? Because not everyone agrees with your religious views, and not only is it not always comforting, it can also be insulting. Number 3. They're with the angels now. See above's note, then rinse and repeat. Number 4. Let me know how I can help. This one is tricky. You want to help, but those in mourning won't always ask for help. If you want to help, suggest specific things. For example, I'm free if you need someone to babysit the kids. Actions are better than passive statements. Cook something for them, take them to their favorite restaurant, or buy tickets to see a movie together. Number 5. I know how you feel. Even if you think you do, everyone grieves differently. Don't focus this on yourself. Empathy doesn't involve having to commiserate. Sometimes people want to hear your experiences, but don't assume they will. Ask first. For a quicker version of this list that can be applied in any situation, don't say stuff just for the sake of saying stuff. Just say, I'm sorry, if you don't know what else to say. Gin Love. Mushrooms. You hate mushrooms so much, I found the perfect thing for you. I've been thinking about death. I know. Shocker. Look what you've done to me. I think I want this mushroom suit. No, it's not called that, but I can't remember the name of it, and I'm writing you on my phone, so I don't feel like Googling it right now. Anyway, the idea is that it's biodegradable suit that's the deceased wears. It's made with what people call biomix, i.e. mushrooms and other microorganisms that help to decompose bodies, neutralize toxins in the body, provide nutrients for the soil for plants. I think this one company even offers casket liners for use in green caskets. I think this is what I want. It'll be just like Hannibal. Wait, don't tell people I said that, okay? But seriously, it's pretty cool. I love all death innovation happening. We might as well do something when we're in the ground, you know? Love you. Think about it and let me know your thoughts. I want all of your thoughts. If it's not this, then maybe I'll have my ashes made into jewelry. Excuse me. But seriously, I'm probably going to do this. There's no harm in planning ahead, right? Jen L., Museum Curator. From Mariana Reyes. Hey, hi Amy, I just wanted to thank you for the service the other month and apologize if I was abrupt. It was kind of a shock for me and I didn't feel comfortable with the whole process. He wasn't supposed to die yet. It hasn't been easy. From Amy, thought I'd pass this along to you. Charlie, I was hoping you wouldn't, okay. Manuel Scott. Good day, Miss Rose. Disregard our son's will as it concerns matters of his burial. He was clearly not thinking right, didn't know what he really wanted. Proceed with an open casket funeral. As for payment, we'll bring a check. Manuel Scott. Charlie, I was hoping you wouldn't have to confront this situation yet anyways. They're never easy. Rose and Daughters has been asked to prepare the body of a young man who took his own life. He had a will prepared and asked for a cremation, but the family has demanded a traditional burial instead. Unfortunately, he didn't make anyone his power of attorney or didn't have any witnesses sign his living will or his advance directive regarding these wishes. So his family is legally in the right to do whatever they want with his body. It's unfortunate, but we have to do as his family wishes. Matthew has graciously offered to take this on if you are uncomfortable with the subject. Instead, we have a second body you can prepare for funeral we're hosting later in the afternoon. Charlie, is this suicide something you're comfortable dealing with? Let me know. I'm here if you need me. No, I'm not comfortable. The deceased family has asked for an open casket funeral. Let's start by cleaning the body. Rigor mortis. Come on. Eye caps. Glue. Cotton balls. And so. Moisturize. Come on. Make an incision. Get some tubing. Add the cannula. Connect the cannula. Turn on the machine. Massage the body. So the incision. Use the trocar. She's no longer suffering or in pain. Yeah. She's in a better place now. She was too good for this world. Okay. Thanks, Aunt Sandy. I haven't cried since she died. Not once. How is Anna crying and not me? I'm the one who lost a parent. It doesn't look like her at all. Where's Maria? She couldn't be here. She didn't want to see her mother's body. I mean, I don't blame her. Anyway, I'm pretty impressed with the food. Did you try the amaretti? Everybody always talking about the food at the funeral. March 3rd. Different funeral traditions. Funeral rites, even in our own culture, may be something many of us may be unfamiliar with. What? For many people, all they know of funeral traditions are what they've seen in media, and I think this goes without saying, funeral rites and traditions aren't the same across the board. Different cultures have different protocols for cleaning the body to different aspects of the service itself. Religion provides different paths for dealing with death, but the goal is almost always the same, offering support, guidance, and ease to the people who are grieving. In Judaism, intermittent usually begins immediately upon after somebody has passed. Up until burial, the body is never supposed to be alone, so often families will appoint a shomer, a guardian, to remain with the body. Preparations for burial begin as soon as possible in Muslim traditions as well. Local Islamic community organizations are also involved and help the family make arrangements for the funeral service and burial. I accidentally left out often. But not all practices are strictly religious focused. In the aughts in South Korea, the amount of graveyard space began to shrink drastically, causing a law to be passed that required many families to remove a loved one's body from its burial place after 60 years. Many families began to cremate more often, but there are also companies that compress remains into beads in turquoise, pink, or black called death beads. This also occurs in North America, Europe, and Japan, but remains much more common in South Korea because of the space issue in graveyards and the expenses of cremation. And not all practices are somber either. Ever hear of the turning of the bones or Famadihana, a ritual by the Malagasy people of Madagascar? Famadihana has families return to an ancestral crypt, exhume the bodies wrapped in cloth before dancing with the bodies to lively music. This practice is a celebration, remembrance, and way of keeping the deceased involved in family news. Death can be a difficult time for many people, obviously, but that doesn't mean there isn't beauty in the ways we choose to honor and celebrate our deceased. You're invited to attend a death cafe. Come increase awareness of death with a view of to helping people make the most of their finite lives. Join us, have a tea and cake, and talk with others about our thoughts, fears, and illuminations on death. The founder of the Death Cafe movement, John Underwood, once said, "When people talk about death and dying, it tends to illustrate their humanity." See everyone at the Upside Down Jar next Thursday, Death Cafe. From Jin Love. Can't really write much right now. I have a lot of work I have to do with an inguinal hernia from 1750. It's the oldest in our collection, and you can even see this bit of paper the surgeon put in after removing the hernia. Super cool. I'll send you the link when we have it cataloged. What is my life? What is that sentence I just typed? But anyway, this event that I'm forwarding to you is taking place near you. Figured you'd be into it. Might help with that feeling of restlessness you were talking about before. Could be good to talk about some of the things you're feeling. Lots of death positive people there. Sounds like it'll be a safe space. From Matthew Jeffrey. What the hell? Can I just say, first off, that this is bullcrap? Knowing how these corporations run, I wouldn't be surprised if they're monitoring our emails now. No, okay, I don't really believe that. I'm just upset. I get that Amy didn't have much of a choice. You can only fight a huge corporation taking all of your business for so long. This isn't 6 feet under. And they just swooped in, and now we have to deal with their BS practices. They're colder than the corpse I picked up from the morgue this morning. Who charges this much for funerals? It feels dirty and exploitative. Let's grab a drink after work. I need to blow off some steam, and emails aren't really the most appropriate place to do this. Too late for me, I guess. P.S. If you're reading this, Hillside Overlord, good. From Chad Grant. We are pleased to bring on Rose and Daughters as part of the Hillside Heritage Enterprises Incorporated. They will be another institution amongst hundreds of other properties owned across the country. But of course, as part of the adjustment process to the Hillside Heritage Enterprises Inc. culture, there will be a number of changes that will come to Rose and Daughters. We will send out the memo regarding the specifics and details of these changes, and we expect them to be followed impeccably. Glad to be leading the way for Rose and Daughters from now on. Chad Grant, CEO and Managing Funeral Director. From Leah Ionesco, thank you, Mr. Grant, for agreeing to take care of Jocelyn's cremation. The bike accident was, well, it was more than I was expecting. I know she wanted to be cremated, and to be honest, I don't think I could bear seeing her like that after what happened. Thank you. From Chad. Charlotte, below are the details for our next client. Ensure you follow the requested specifications exactly. After you are done, I will review your work in order to properly evaluate you at the end of the month. Place the round identification tag. Come on. 2 for 1. Should we do a visual at the spot? Careless drivers. I swear to God. I'm glad I'm here, but wow, I just need a glass of wine and to binge watch something right now. I have to go through all her things. How am I supposed to decide what to keep? If you need help, I can help. No. Thanks, I mean, but no. I don't know. It's so intimate. Feels like I should do it myself. She would kill me if others saw the things we have. Yeah, she was kind of a closed book. Except to you. Yeah. She was special. So glad it was cremation. I would have lost it seeing her body. She was always so careful. Wore her helmet, signaled, used the bike lanes. Asshole drivers. They need to pay attention. Have you heard what's happening to the driver? No, I haven't went to ask Leah. This has been hard enough on them without asking about the legal ramifications of all this. Yeah, after all this, let's see what we can do to help them. Shouldn't deal with the death of their partner all by themselves. March 24th. Home funerals, why do it? The appeal of the home funeral is apparent for many, especially if the deceased was somebody very close to you. The idea of keeping them at home until they are ready to be buried or cremated can be comforting. It wasn't that long ago that we were taking care of our own deceased, but nowadays people are quick to pass off their loved ones to a funeral home. Most families aren't given the option and assume this is mandatory. Funeral homes will almost always prepare the deceased using embalming fluids and other methods to make them appear more alive. But isn't this process counterintuitive to the grieving process? Go down. The idea of keeping the deceased body at home might sound gross, but it's important to understand that decomposition takes a long time. You can further slow this process by keeping your home cool and dry. To be around your loved ones and to see them decay naturally is an important part of the grieving process. Home funerals aren't just more intimate, but they are economical. A traditional funeral, complete with the body preparation, service, flowers, cards, and many other hidden costs and fees, can cost upwards of $7,000 to $10,000. When you're able to take care of your loved one yourself, to wash and dress them, to organize their viewing from home, the only cost remaining is entirely in the cremation or burial itself. However, it is important to understand that different rules apply given on what states you live in. In all states, it is legal to have your loved one's body at home after they die. States like Alabama, Connecticut, Illinois, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, Nebraska, New Jersey, and New York require funeral directors' involvement, from signing the death certificate to overseeing burial or cremation. If this is a route you decide to go for yourself or your loved ones, make sure you follow everything by the book. But just know that this may be an option available to you and your loved ones if so choose. From Jin Love, Dr. Zayas, I just saw a video of a gorilla walking on its hind legs. Like a human being, Charlie. A human being. We, as a species, have seen the beginning of our end. From Chad to Charlie. I have reviewed your request on behalf of potential family inquiring if we at Hillside Heritage Enterprises, Inc. can and will perform green burials. I should have informed you of this at the beginning, but we do not perform green funerals as they are not cost effective. All employees and subsidiaries of Hillside Heritage Enterprises, Inc. must comply. We do not wish to lose potential customers, though, so do try your hardest to convince the families requesting green burials to instead choose a traditional burial package, complete with embalming, caskets, and vaults instead. I trust you'll ensure we do not lose any customers, Charlotte. Why are you fucking calling her Charlotte? Hello, as stated in the previous email, here are the new rules and code of conduct I expect you to follow from now on while on any premises belonging to Hillside Heritage Enterprises, Inc. First and foremost, there is a required uniform and strict dress code from now on. Second, most importantly to this is that no tattoos are to be visible. If you have visible tattoos, ensure they are properly covered and hidden. When speaking with customers and clients, consider the opportunity to upsell, i.e. always encourage the deceased loved one to purchase the higher quality package. We find that encouraging loved ones to think of the comfort and style of the deceased as an experience with no price limit on it. Additionally, food is no longer allowed to be brought in. Instead, encourage the deceased loved ones to purchase our premium sandwiches and appetizer food package. Excuse me. We find that encouraging loved ones to think of the comfort and style of the deceased as an experience with no price limit on it. Additionally, food is no longer... I already read that. Our partner Catering Concepts provides high-quality food that will be delivered weekly from their factory, can easily be defrosted in the morning of the funeral. I expect all of the above changes to be instituted effective immediately to ensure a smooth transition into the high-quality services Hillside Heritage Enterprise, Inc. is known for. Charlie, I need a drink. Beer after work? P.S. Also, I really want mozzarella sticks. I can be both hungry and angry. And no, I will not say hangry ever. Charlotte, I am proud to announce that Hillside Heritage Enterprises, Inc. received a contract with the city to dispose of any unclaimed bodies. This is an important revenue stream for us, as I'm sure I don't need to explain to you, Charlotte. Although Hillside Heritage Enterprise, Inc. is being paid a decent wage from the city for these services, cremation is preferred here as it is more cost efficient of the two options. The first unclaimed body we will be handling belongs to a middle-aged man, possibly homeless, whose body has yet to be claimed. No special preparations needed for this cadaver aside from cremation. I'll take care of it. I wish it would let me pick up the bones. Oh. April 9th. Water, water everywhere and not a drop to drink. Water cremation. We can call it a few different things, like a flameless cremation, a bit of an oxymoron, but we'll let it slide, or perhaps more commonly resomation. Its technical name, though, it is actually alkaline hydrolysis. Whatever we want to call it, it's here and it's an environmentally friendly alternative to traditional cremation. But for the sake of this newsletter, let's call it a water cremation. We all know that traditional cremation and burials take a huge toll on the environment, the high energy consumption that adds to the greenhouse gas effect being one of the chief amongst them, and water cremation is an alternative method available for the eco-conscious amongst. How does it work? It's basically a water-based chemical process that uses really strong alkali and water heated up to very high, about 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Basically works like a sped-up version of natural decomposition. The excess water gets put through the same water treatment process as any sewage water at a factory, and alkaline hydrolysis uses significantly less energy than traditional cremation processes. Neat, huh? It's been around for a bit, and in some places became legal around the end of the first decade of the aughts. Not a bad alternative for those who don't want their death to have any greater impact on the environment than necessary. From Jen to Charlie. I kissed her. Dating a special effect makeup artist, and she is like the coolest person I've ever met in my life. She totally loves Ava's possession and was equally freaked out by the possession scenes, but so utterly delighted at the idea of a support group for people who have been possessed. That was your best recommendation in a while, Charlie. You were slipping there. I was getting worried you had lost your taste. But yeah, her name is Lily, and she's super death positive and isn't freaked out by my work, and also isn't too into it like the last dude I saw. Jason? Michael? God, I can't remember. I just really like spending time around with her. I can talk about whatever I want, and it's never a conversation stopper. She also totally gets what I mean when I say, like, working with death and spending so much time thinking about death actually makes me happier. It makes everything else feel so much more worth it, you know? Memento mori, or whatever they taught us in that one poetry class we took. We just clicked. Feels good. Fun and affirming, like dating should be. I'm thinking of taking her to Maple Meadows. She's super into roller coasters, and I think the idea of sharing cotton candy, or maybe not, I don't want to throw up on the rides, is sickeningly cute. Then maybe I'll kiss her on top of the Ferris wheel. Be super corny and cliche for once in my life. Anywho, enough about me for now. I'm still kind of in shock from your last email. Do you think you're going to do it? I know you have my support 100% no matter what you decide. Jen L. Matthew. Charlie, it's official. I've put in my 2 weeks notice. You know how unhappy I am working for Mega Corporation 101? My skills, especially my driving ones, are useful in other professions. I'm not worried about myself. But you I am worried about. You're too good for this corporate scum. You actually care about the people you work for and with. Don't let them defeat you, okay? P.S. I'll bring beers over next week. We can talk a bit more freely. Chad Grant. Hello all. We are thrilled to announce that Hillside Heritage Enterprises Inc.'s subsidiary, Rose & Daughters, just signed a contract with Morning Valley Hospital, allowing us to access to all of the cadavers that come through their pediatric and maternity wards. We're excited for the opportunity to work with Morning Valley Hospital, which intakes over 100,000 patients and receives over $15 million in funding and donations annually. This will no doubt be a boon for Hillside Heritage Enterprise Inc.'s bright and sustained future. From Coffee Dimka to Chad Grant. Dear Mr. Grant, regarding the last time we spoke, my daughters and I would still prefer to host a home funeral ourselves and keep my wife here until she's ready to be buried. I just want to make sure that she's taken care of. Her heart attack was so sudden, we don't know what to do. We just want to make sure that she has a proper send-off. From Chad. Dear Mr. Dimka, I understand your desire to keep your wife at home, but I assure you the best way to honor your wife is through the traditional funeral package instead. I promise you your wife's funeral with us will be a beautiful, intimate gathering where all of her beloved friends and family can come together and say their goodbyes. A standard embalming will allow for everyone to view your wife, ensuring that everyone can see her one final time as she was. Beautiful, peaceful, and courageous. Letting us take care of the food with our prepared food service will ensure you don't have a single thing to worry about on this day. You and your daughters are going through a hard time right now. Let us here at Rose & Daughters make this difficult time a little easier for you. Dear Mr. Grant. Okay. We'll take the traditional funeral package. Thank you for considering us in this hard time. Best, Kofi. Charlotte, I see you were not able to convince the Dimka family to take the standard funeral. I had to contact them myself in order to not lose the sale. Please read the enclosed emails for a lesson on how to properly upsell potential customers. I don't want to see that we've lost any customers because of your refusal to upsell. That is part of your job. I hate this guy. Oh. The deceased family has asked for an open casket funeral. Great rigor mortis. Insert eye caps. Cotton balls. Moisturize. Come on. Make an incision. Place some tubing. Place this thing. Massage the body. Sew it up. No. I'm starving. Why do these things always make me so hungry? You're always hungry. It's so cold in here. I think they have the air conditioning on too high. Yeah, let's go for a walk later. It's really nice out. Would be good to stretch my legs. This feels so impersonal. She would have hated this. Yeah, but I don't know. They must have had their reasons. Oh, hey, what did you think of that trailer I sent you? Oh yeah, I've heard that show is so good. I saw that video of the one kid actor doing karaoke. Do you think we did the right thing? I feel bad not asking what Mom asked for. I feel bad not doing what Mom asked for. I know, honey, but what the Chad guy said seems right. We don't want to dishonor her memory by letting her rot. Yeah, I just want Mom to know I loved her. Wish I hadn't yelled at her before. Shh, it's okay. She knew you loved her. Fights happen. Please don't be hard on yourself. Yeah, I'm gonna miss her. Me too. August 30th. It's been quite a while now. Or someplace else. From Amy Rose. Charlie, dear, I'm so proud of you. I knew there was something special in you when I hired you for Rose and Daughters. If there's anything I can do for you, please do not hesitate to ask. I'm always happy to help. Best wishes. P.S. I sorely miss you. Matthew's terrible sense of humor. Matthew, you'll never believe what new job I'm working on now. Open this email to find out. Hey, Charlie. When I first became a hearse driver, I was told that my most important job wasn't steering, it was sympathizing. I respectfully disagree, and thankfully I concentrated on my driving skills since I'm now working as a, wait for it, bus driver. A school bus driver, Charlie. Can you believe that? Pretty sure if I said the most important part of my job now wasn't steering, I'd be fired immediately. I didn't know what else to tell you. I didn't know how else to tell you. For some reason, I was worried you'd think less of me, but I don't know why. You've never been the judgmental kind, and besides, corpses are way easier to deal with than children. Screaming children, might I add. I actually love it. These kids can be pretty cute, but don't tell Amy that I told you all that. She was always harping on me for not having any kids and for being cynical about them. Congrats on your new business, Charlie. I'm proud of you. I'll swing by your new place one day and show you my new wheels. Maybe we can grab a bite to eat. Be seeing you. From Jen to Charlie. Congratulations on your new business. Charlie, I'm so happy for you. I know it's been a rough year for you. Seriously, I think our wine intake saw a bazillion% increase, but you've stuck through it all like a champ. You deserve this. Finally, being your own boss is a great move for you. No more having to explain anything you don't want to. I'm trying to not be too cheesy right now. Can't wait to be home next week for our visit and to check out your new space. Always, Jen L. Hart. P.S. Have you heard about these green burial pods? When I find the link in my 1 million open tabs, I'll shoot it over to you. From Eileen. Dear Charlie, today's the day already, isn't it? I can't believe how quickly this has come up. Thank you for your understanding and for your work. You've made today easier already. See you at 1 p.m. Best, Eileen. See you soon. This hurts. Talk to every person at every funeral. This hurts. I thought it'd be easier, but it's not. It hurts so much, but I thank you for helping me give her the funeral she always wanted. Anyway, I think we're ready to get started now. Finish Mortician's tale. Rest in peace. Mortician's tale. Aww. Unity and Fmod. What a roller coaster these credits have been. All right, so that was a Mortician's Tale. Very straightforward. My biggest complaint is just how short it is. It was about an hour. You could probably speedrun it if you just didn't talk to anybody. Are there other achievements I didn't get? There's a locked achievement. Win a game of Tales from the Crypt Sweeper. I saw that tab there, but I didn't think to click over to it. Yeah, I wish that there was more development between starting with Amy and then getting bought out by Chad, and then more development between Chad and starting our own business. Because the story there is actually very interesting. It's like, it's the like pressure of corporate breathing down your neck and wanting you to do things that aren't within your morals, and wanting you to upsell, and always worried about the every customer, every sell, everything that you're every dollar counts. And that's not what Charlie's about. Charlie is about like being there for the families and doing the best jobs that she can. So it would be nice to have a little bit more of like the growing together with Amy and getting to know Amy and Charlie, and the families, maybe even just having like, a space between work, where Charlie is like having drinks with her coworkers, or, having lunch or having coffee or something outside of the little boxes. Just a little bit to like stretch that out a little bit more. And then in the second half of the game, having more of the like, Chad is breathing down your neck and needs you to do stuff, and you don't want to do it and you're not comfortable with it. There wasn't really a like low point of like Chad pressuring you to do a funeral that you're not comfortable with, because that was part of the first act, was like the family is trying to disrespect this person's wishes, and you're not going to do that. So that should have been like mirrored in the second part with Chad pressuring you to do something that you're not comfortable with. And it never really got to that low point. Instead, we get the low point is Chad chewing us out for not upselling. So I think that there should have been like the act one, just getting to know the coworkers a little bit more. Amy says that she feels like she's part of the family. It would have been nice if we like got that like from the gameplay, and then in the second half, just having the like the pressure, because that's the thing that like when you're in a bad job. When you're in a job that you don't feel comfortable doing anymore, and then your bosses, they're just constantly on you, and you're like, well, yeah, I'm trying to do the best that I can, but you're not giving me any space, right? That's part of the pressure of that situation. And because this game is kind of like a cozy game, it doesn't really ever get to that low point that would have made the ending satisfying. I think that what's here is good. I just wish that there was more built on top of it. Like, you have the good structure. I'm just looking for more from it. So yeah, those are my thoughts. I'm going to get out of here. Thank you all for joining me for another night of Strange and Scary Games. I love you. We'll see you in the next video. Good night.